It's a market that's enjoyed an incredible rise during the summer, but just what is the best way of buying silver? Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com, and given the popularity of silver, I thought we'd do a quick look at what's the best way of buying it. Should you buy it online, so you own something like an ETF or a contract for difference, or is the best way of doing it to actually buy physical silver that you can hold? We're going to get into all of that in a second. I would say as well, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed yet, just click on subscribe, continue to support the channel, and we can produce content like this. But first of all, before we get into the pros and cons of the different ways of holding silver, let's just catch up with why it's been such an exciting market for investors and traders over the last few months. So let's take a quick look at why silver has been such an interesting market for investors in recent months. It's been this big run we've seen. It started in sort of May of this year with the price trading around about $14.50, and you can see how the recovery really accelerated, touching about $19.60 beginning of September. We have seen the price come off since then, but this sort of volatility really sparks interest amongst investors, and that price up there, that's the highest we've seen silver. You've got to go back to September 2016 to see it the last time it was back up at these levels. I'll talk a bit more about the ways of gaining exposure to it now, then we'll come onto the platform and just look at things in a bit more detail. So a massive rise over the summer, saw plenty of people drawn to silver as either a long-term investment or a trading opportunity. But let's talk about the pros and cons of buying physical silver versus buying or trading it online. So let's talk about buying physical silver first. Well, if you buy silver coins or bars, you have an actual tangible asset that you can hold. It's something that maybe you might want to gift to other people or pass on to your heirs, but it's a physical thing there. So with that, you have no counterparty risk. It's not a financial instrument you hold with a broker or some other financial entity. It's something that's there in your hands. And because you're holding the physical asset, you don't have to worry about your account being hacked or any other online security risks. So for a lot of people, there is security in actually owning physical silver. So what are the drawbacks of holding physical silver? Well, because you're buying it, you can only profit if the price rises. If you're trading an online instrument and you think that silver is going to fall, you can sell short. You can't do that with physical silver. Depending on how much silver you hold, maybe you need it in a vault somewhere, you have storage and security costs. There's the risk of it maybe getting stolen if you hold it at home, so there are costs associated there. For me, liquidity is the big thing if you're holding any sort of physical asset. If you think the price of silver is going to start falling and you want to get out of your position, how easy is it to sell? I'd argue if you hold the physical silver, it's not as quick and easy to sell if you held a financial instrument. And normally the cost of buying and selling is more expensive with the physical asset. The bid offer spread would normally be wider. So the price, if you go and buy silver tomorrow, physical silver, let's say you're buying silver coins, and then if you want to sell them in a day's time, normally that spread would be wider than trading some sort of online silver instrument. So I think the costs of trading need to be taken into account. There are other issues such as taxes, which may vary in your country, whichever country you're in, but I think actually dealing in the physical silver can be more expensive than the online alternative. So let's look at investing online. So for me, for somebody who has a short to medium term view on markets like silver, one of the major benefits is the ability to trade it in both directions. Clearly, during the summer, we've seen the price of silver rise. The profitable side of the market was to be long, to have bought some sort of online instrument that profits from silver going up, but you can also sell short. So if you thought that silver was heading for a big crash, it should be relatively easy with certain online instruments to position yourself to profit from that fall. Then, of course, there's the liquidity. It's very easy, or it should be very easy, to get out of your position in online silver. If, like me, you trade products such as contracts for difference, the price is always there. It's a 24-hour market during the week. It should be easy to exit or enter a position, arguably a lot easier than it is with physical silver. If you're investing or trading silver online, you have various options. For example, you can trade the price itself. We're going to have a look at that in a second just to show you how it works. You can, of course, also buy into silver stocks or silver shares, companies that are going to profit if the price of silver rises. Then, of course, there's products such as silver ETFs, exchange traded funds, like the various iShare portfolio of assets, where these are instruments that will mimic what's going on with the silver market. So you have lots of different options open to for investment or trading online. Then if you want it, there's leverage. So if you're trading, for example, silver futures or silver contracts for difference, you have the ability to magnify your position size, which you don't have so much in the physical asset. Of course, with that, you have the opportunity to profit further if the price goes in your direction. But with leverage, it's a double-edged sword, so there is the risk of incurring bigger losses. So leverage is not for everybody. Let's just take a quick look on the platform to talk about these issues and look at them in a bit more detail. Then I'll come back and talk about the cons of investing or trading silver online. So what are the cons of trading or investing silver online? Well, of course, you don't hold the physical asset. You hold a piece of paper stored electronically somewhere that says you own this ETF, this future, or this silver share. So maybe you don't have the same sense of security that you might have if you held physical silver in a vault. Depending on which online asset you've traded or invested in, that there will normally be commission fees and possibly holding fees if you run the position. So for example, with contracts for difference or futures, if you're using leverage, there's usually a price to pay for that leverage. From our point of view, with Capital.com, you don't pay any commission if you trade a CFD, a contract for difference. Our spreads, the bid-offer spread, as we saw on the platform there, is very tight. So your cost of doing business, getting in and out, is pretty small. And the only ongoing fee you're going to be paying is if you're using leverage, and so you're paying a small financing cost. So there are pluses and minuses of doing it both ways. I may be slightly biased because I work for an online trading company, but for me, because of the ease of getting in and out, the leverage I find useful, and just the general liquidity and ease of getting exposure. I'm a big fan of doing it online, but my time horizon tends to be a few weeks to maybe a few months. I suppose if you wanted to hold silver over many, many years, then there's the argument for actually buying the physical asset. But for most of us, perhaps the easiest way of doing it is via some sort of online financial instrument. That's a quick update, just looking at the different pros and cons. I hope you found it useful. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, leave us a message down there in the comments section. We do read all of them and try and answer your questions whenever we can. To never miss out on our content, make sure you're subscribed to the channel by clicking subscribe. And if you click the alert, the alarm bell icon down there, you get automatically notified every time we upload a new video. But that's it for this look at the pros and cons of the different ways of gaining exposure to silver. So from me, David Jones, and Capital.com, good luck with your trading.